Hey everyone, how are you doing? My name is Kia and I'm an incoming medical student here at UBC. Like many of you guys, I found the CARS section of the MCAT really hard. It was so challenging and took so much effort to actually improve. Welcome back to the Kia effect. And in this video, I really want to share 5 mistakes that I made while studying for the MCAT, while doing the CARS practices. I really aim to help you guys not make the same mistakes and also save so much time and so much frustration. Many students, me included, when studying for the CARS section of the MCAT, think that MCAT CARS is something like an high school English test. You need to memorize everything, you need to highlight every detail, every date, every name, everything in between, but this is not how CARS section is. It's really wanting you to understand what is author's opinion, what is author's tone, what arguments author is making that are against its own argument. And I try to look at the CARS more as analyze the passage instead of really memorizing the passage. You kind of get the hang of it, you get the pattern, start seeing that, okay, now I know what's coming next. I've seen that here we have a counter argument, and I'm expecting right away that the author is coming back and hitting the counter argument somehow and just making their points. The second mistake that I did was, at first when I started, I used to speed read every detail in the passage and thinking that I need more time for the questions. But guess what? And I ended up actually going back to the passage many times more and reread the whole passage. So I changed my approach. I started reading it really slow to comprehend everything. And again, I couldn't do the last few questions. I missed points on those. So what I ended up doing is I did a fluctuating pattern. Like the first day doing CARS, I was doing a CARS passage in 15 minutes, just taking my time comprehending. And the next day, I was taking another passage in 10 minutes. Again, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and slowly I tried to bring this 15 minutes down to 9 minutes. Ideally, you want to take 8.5 minutes for each passage 2 weeks before your MCAT date. Another mistake that I was making initially was trying to answer every question from my memory, from what I remember from the passage. And then I realized when I talked to certain friends that I had and they were scoring higher than me, I realized that, okay, they are actually going back to the passage a lot. But going back to the passage doesn't mean that you are rereading the whole paragraph. But actually what it is when you are reading the passage, you're making a map in your brain. So you know which argument is where. And so when you see the same argument in the question, you know exactly where to find that argument. Try to practice having a map handy in your mind, so whenever you see an argument, you go back to that word or to that sentence. The maximum thing you're allowed to read is 2 sentences. Don't push yourself, don't force yourself to read a whole paragraph to answer one question. That will waste so much time. You'll see that you'll miss so much more questions. This other mistake that I used to make, and this almost got me so many times, is I'd see elegant intellectual word in the answers and I'd be like, this is the answer, yeah, this is what we want. Especially if you're an ESL student, there are many words and many sentences in the passage that you might not comprehend fully. So when you see those intellectual words, you're like, yeah, this is a good one, this is cool. But what I've seen from my own experience, they're never the answer. They could be sometimes the answer, just so yeah, but from my experience, I've seen that they're normally not the answer you're looking for. And always remember, when you are choosing the answer, just think about it for a few moments. See, does the other choice that I have align with the main idea of the passage? One other error that people usually make when doing the CARS is lying down in bed, playing music in the background while doing the CARS section, and not really having the condition that you are tested on the actual MCAT for your CARS. So if you are preparing for the CARS, be prepared because it's painful. You really need to sit down, do 9 passages altogether at least a few times a week before your exam starts. And be prepared to have the conditions set up as it's gonna be on the MCAT. This really makes you not only improve your comprehension skills, but actually improve your stamina, something that is way, way more important in the CARS section compared to all the other sections. As an ESL student who speaks English as their second language, I really know how easy it is to just not understand many words and not comprehend the passage fully. Also, we tend to be reading slower compared to people who've been reading English their whole life. So one thing I really suggest, not only for ESL students, but for everyone in general, is you need to read more books. You need to expand your vocabulary, and it's going to be a painful process if you are just starting. I got so many books. I went to some magazines just reading about political science, some subjects that interested me, and also some subject that did not interest me whatsoever. But still, I tried to read as much as I can, and guess what? The first book that I got was this thin, like really thin, and it took me 40 days to finish that book. But the next one that I got took me like 30 days, and the next one 20 days. And again, like I only finished 3 books when preparing for my MCAT. You know, the first book you're reading, there's so many words you don't understand the meaning. Slow down, learn those meanings. I know it's gonna make the book so boring because it takes so long, but just push through, and I know you can do it. So CARS is hard, but it's not impossible to improve. Just don't make the mistakes that I made. Take your time, practice a lot so you have the consistency in your practice and you can actually build up the resilience that you need to attack CARS section. So if you are stuck on the CARS section of the MCAT, just comment down below and I'd love to get back to you. I'd love to help out as much as I can. Also, don't forget to watch my video about what are the best materials for the MCAT out there. And thank you so much for watching. Best of luck on your MCAT exam.